Hello everybody, welcome back to Sin City Living. Welcome back to our dice class. So we are now progressing into phase 4. Phase 4 deals with the center action. Center action. So before I get into how these actually work and how these actually pay, I want to go over some of the responsibilities of the stickman. First off, the dice. If the dice are not in the center of the table, then the stickman's eyes need to always be on the dice. That's why we don't like late bets, because they're not supposed to take their eyes off the dice, so they're not supposed to set bets up. Do you see stick people do that all the time? Absolutely. They're terrible. They're terrible. They're just forgetting the most basic thing they learn. They should never take their eyes off of the dice. Period. Never take your eyes off the dice. Second thing, the stick person is sometimes referred to as a second box. And why is that? It's because whatever side of the table the dice are landing on, like if the dice are going this way, if the dice are going that way, whatever side of the table the dice are landing on, it is the stick person's responsibility to watch the dealer on that side. Make sure their payouts are correct, make sure they're handing things off correctly, make sure they're booking their bets, make sure that they are traveling things the proper way, just making sure that everything is done properly on that side. It's just a second set of eyes is all it is. And then they're also responsible for paying. Now, when you're paying center action, a couple things to keep in mind. One, you wait until all the payouts and everything is finished on that side of the table. The base dealer should have all of their work completed before you start paying. Next, you pay from dealer to stick person. So you start out with position 8 over there, or position 1, and then you come around to position 8. And then on this side, you start out with position 16 and come around to position 9. So you start next to the dealer and then come around to the stick person. You pay the side of the table you are watching first. That should be obvious. That should be extraordinarily obvious. You pay the side of the table you are watching first. Now, all of this sounds like it's really, really basic. However, keep in mind that you're supposed to be watching, let's say the shooter's over here, so the dice are going that way. So that's my side of the table, is my responsibility to watch. So the dice land, I collect the dice, I bring them back to the center of the table. Players, let's say an easy 10 roll. So I'm working on I need to take down the losing bets. Players are throwing money in. Let me get my heart 10 back. Let me get my heart 10 back. Let me get a three-way crowd. Let me get a horn bet. Let me get aces. I want a high-low. Let me hop the three-way sixes. All these chips are flying in at me. Well, I've got to be collecting everything up, making sure that these chips don't mess up any other bets that are currently there, while also watching that side of the table, watching all that dealer's payouts. Now it's not quite so easy, which is kind of the difference between a good dealer and a bad dealer. A good dealer is able to keep track of 16 voices yelling at him and 16 chips come flying in at him while watching their side of the table. It doesn't mean that sometimes you don't take your eyes off. Of course, sometimes we do. Also depends a lot on the dealer on that side. If it's one of the strongest dealers over there and all their bets are super basic, simple bets, yeah, I'm probably going to take my eyes off of them. But I'm still listening. Nothing is more frustrating to other dealers and to box people than dealers that cannot listen, cannot hear their players. When a base dealer can't hear the other 4 players telling them, I want to press my bet, I want to press 1 unit, or I want to take my bets down or turn me off, while they're paying the 5th player, they can't hear all of this and remember it while they're paying the 5th player, but instead finish paying the 5th player, then look at the other 4 and say, what did you want? That's extraordinarily frustrating. That is a dealer that does not belong in dice. You have to be able to pay attention to your entire side of the table. The dealer needs to be able to pay all their bets over there, book anything else the players are yelling at them, while also booking anything that gets thrown in here. Any bets in here need to be booked twice. They need to be booked by the base dealer and need to be booked by the stick dealer. So, they need to be able to keep track of everything. Dealers at all sides of the table need to be able to keep track of every single thing. Very, very, very basic. Another general rule is the stick person needs to sell the center action. If you're in a come out roll, the stick person should be trying to sell C&Es and horn bets and crap checks and all of that stuff, three-way sevens, whatever. You know, if people are betting hard ways and they have them working, does anybody want to bet a red? Cover your, protect your hard ways, cover them. You know, anybody want any C&Es, crap checks, horn bets, 7-Elevens? What do you got? Send it to us. They should be trying to sell their bets, not, okay, we're coming out, new shooter. Any bets? Dice are out. That's a crappy deal. That's a lazy dealer. It's a lazy dealer and a crappy dealer. So they should be trying to sell their bets. Now, let's look at how the center action works. So we're going to start off, I'm going to start off with the C&E, the any crap, the any 7, and the hard ways. That's going to be in today's video. Right? And I have a reason for that. So, let's take a look. So you've got your any crap, pay 7 to 1. Some tables, it will say, most tables, it's going to say 8-4-1. 4-1, 8-4-1 is the same as 7-2-1. Right? Because 8-4-1 means if it hits, then I'm going to pay them $8 for this dollar. I'm going to take it. But you always leave player center action up, which means that we're going to take $1 back, keep them up, so they get $7, 7-2-1. 8-4-1 or 7-2-1. Okay? Any crap should be pretty obvious. 2, 3, or 12. The 3 crap numbers. Simple. Right? If it hits, they get paid 7 to 1. If it doesn't hit, they lose. It's a one-roll bet. Every bet, we usually tell players that every bet in red is a one-roll bet, even though this is printed in white. Most tables this is printed in red, but you also have the red dice. So we tell them anything in red is a one-roll bet up here. Hard ways, the payout is right on there. Right? 9 to 1 or 10-4-1, then 8-4-1 or 7-2-1. Hard ways stay up. They only come down in the event of an easy way, say a 4-2 or 5-1, or 7. If 7 comes, it loses. Okay? Now, when it comes to position, you always assume that this is the table and the stick person standing right here. You have to split it. So next to the stick person on this side of the table will be right here. This is directly to my left. This is directly to my right. And then it follows the table just like the place bet box numbers, which means that this would be right next to the base dealer on that side. This right next to the base dealer over there. Right here, top hook. Right here, bottom hook. This side. Top hook, bottom hook, this side. And that holds true for every single bet. Even though I'm not going to cover how they pay out yet. Say the horn bets. This, probably next to the base dealer over there. Now I already know, because this happens every class, players go, wow, there's not enough space, what are you going to do? If you're going to do the best you can. The odds of all 16 players betting a horn bet or something else is pretty slim, but it can happen, but it's pretty slim. You're going to do the best you can. Okay? When we get to the hot bets, which is going to be in a later video, they're real small. They're basically a bet that's the size of the chip. So when you have multiple people betting it, sometimes it looks like you'll have a bet that looks like this. And you just got to remember, hey, this one is that guy, this one is that guy over there, this one is that guy. And you have little tricks you can do. There's usually something on the chips that you can use as a pointer to point towards the player, or just a way that you're going to do it to know. For instance, I know people that will do a high-low and do this. And that means that it's that player over there. Whatever works, but you're going to do the best you can. You can't play the what-if game over and over and over again. That's just honestly, it's stupid. You can't play the what-if game. You see what's there. What if this? What if this? What if this? You just do the best you can. Just like with your don't comes. With your don't comes and your behind bets that don't all fit. So, any crap, 8 for 1 or 7 to 1. 6 and 8, hard 6, hard 8, 10 for 1 or 9 to 1. Hard 10, hard 4, 8 for 1 or 7 to 1. Next, the ante 7. The ante 7, this is not hopping the 7, it's the ante 7. Right? The ante 7 and the crap bet, those are there as courtesy bets because they are so common that a bet was put in place so that you didn't have to bet $3 in order to be able to bet all of them. Because there's 3 crap numbers. So you could do a 3-way crap, which requires $3, $1 on each, or 15 if you're on a higher end table where they require $5 minimum in here. Instead, you could bet any crap for $1. Now, if a 12 rolls, instead of getting paid, if you had a 3-way crap, you for $3, you'd be getting paid $28. Instead, you're going to get paid $7. Works out a little bit better for you on the ace deuce, but it doesn't pay as well, but you've got less at risk. Same thing for the A7. You can bet a buck. Now again, you just do the best you can to remember, to signify to yourself and remember where the bet is. 4-1 or 5-4-1. 4-2-1 or 5-4-1. The last one is the 11. Now the 11 is a hot bet, which means it's just betting a combination of the dice, the 5-6 or the 6-5. So there's two ways for it to come, 6-5 or 5-6. And it can come 6-5 or it can come 5-6. That's why it's two different combinations. So that has a 1 in 18 chance of coming. Pay 16-4-1 or 15-2-1. The reason I'm covering this one today instead of with the rest of the hot bets is because I want to cover the C&E. C&E, $2 minimum because they have to do $1 on each. This is just a courtesy spot. So many people bet a C&E on the come out roll that instead of having to do this to mark them all, they put them up here. Now some dealers will split it up, but most are just going to leave it just like that. $2 minimum because they have to have $1 on each, the crap and the 11. C is crap, E is 11. This is the first spot that we really run into using keys. This is one of the most common bets. I'm going to teach you guys keys, but we don't use keys most of the time. 90% of the time, we're not going to use a key. This is one that's pretty common. If a crap rolls, all right, this is the total bet. This is $2, okay? You're not looking at the dollar on the crap. You're looking at this $2. If a crap rolls, this pays 3 times the bet. So they got $2 bet here, so that means they get $6, right? Well, let's look at this. If they have $1 on the crap and $1 on the 11, they would get paid 7-1. So they get paid $7, but this lost. But we always keep up their action. So in order to keep it up, we take $1 out of their 7. They have $6, right? So 3 times the bet. 4 times on there, they get paid 12. They only had $3 on there, they'd get paid 9. $5 C&E, fairly common, they get paid 15. Now with the 11, 7 times the bet. 7 times the bet. So let's look at this again. This way. 15-1, 11 rolls. They get paid $15. But we need to keep this bet up that lost, so we take it out of that 15, they get paid $14. What's 7 times 2? $14. Okay. 7 times the bet. So if they had $3 on it, they would get paid $21 if an 11 rolls, if an E rolls. Okay. Everything else is fairly obvious. 9-1, which means if they had $5, they'd get paid $45. If they had $2, they would get paid $18. Right. As far as advanced ways to pay, those will be covered in later videos. And advanced ways to calculate the payouts, or quicker ways to calculate the payouts, also covered in later videos. These are the absolute basics. Plus, everybody has different methods. I'm going to teach you a lot of different methods so that you figure out which one works the best. Last one I'm going to cover on this video, 7-11, because this is another common one on a come out roll. It's very common for players that are betting the don'ts because they lose on a 7 or 11. So they'll bet the 7-11 to kind of hedge themselves. $2 minimum because again, $1 on the 7, $1 on the 11. It's 2 different bets. Very rarely is this set up in such a way that the 7 and the 11 are right next, the any 7 and the 11 are right next to each other to where you could do something like split a line. So oftentimes 7-11s are set up like this. They're set up they're set up on the line, heeled off, away from the any 7. Basically away from the any 7 towards the 11. The key for this one is really, really easy. If an 11 rolls, it's 7 times the bet, just like a C&E. If a 7 rolls, you blackjack the bet, 3-2. So $2, you get paid 3. If we really need to work this out for you guys, 4-2-1 or 5-4-1. So this would get paid $4. But their $1.11 lost. To keep it up, we take $1 out of the $4. They get $3. 3-2, they get $3. Blackjack the bet. Very basic. Okay. So those 2 keys are extraordinarily common. Some dealers, or some floors, boxmen, some instructors will even say that those are the only keys that you use. I know one floor that says the C&E key is the only key that he ever even taught. I kind of disagree with that method, but to each their own. There you guys go. Those are the basic common bets that are not hot bets on the center action. We'll get into the hot bets in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you next time. Bye now. Okay, guys, so now we are going to get into the hot bets. Gonna get into hot bets. The reason I'm not covering these yet is because these are hot bets. Instead, I want to cover what a hot bet is. A hot bet is betting a specific combination of the dice. It is a one-roll bet. Betting a specific combination of the dice. So, a player could bet the 3-1. It's also called an easy 4, but they could bet the 3-1. They could bet the 2-2. They could hop the hard ways. Instead of, we call these the all-day hard ways, they could also hop them. These stay up unless an easy way rolls are 7. The hop, one roll, win or lose, period. Now, if they bet, say, the 3-1 and the 2-2, that's called a two-way 4. They're betting the two-way 4. So they're betting two combinations. They need $2 minimum. The 6 and the 8 have 3. Because you have your 4-2, your 5-1, and your 3-3 as far as the 6 goes. Same thing with the 8. Same with the 7. You can hop the 7s. Instead of doing any 7, you can hop the 7s. Then you would be betting $1 each. There's 3 ways on the 3-4, the 5-2, and the 6-1. Okay, that's called hopping a 3-way 7 or hopping a 3-way red. You can hop 3-way 8s. You can hop the easy 8s. Easy 8s, you'd only need $2. You could hop the 3-way 6s or the easy 6s. You need 3 or 2. You could hop 2-way 9s, 2-way 5s. Or instead of hopping the 2-way 5s, you could just hop the 4-1. Or you could hop the 3-2. Right? That'd just be $1. Right? The 11 is a hop. You're hopping the 6-5. It's $1. Anything that is not a pair, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, you guys get the point. Anything that is not a pair is called low side. It pays 16 for 1 or 15 to 1. Anything that is a pair, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, 5-5, 6-6, is called the high side, like the 2 or the 12. It pays 31 for 1 or 30 to 1. The reason being, if it's a pair, there's only one possible way out of the 36 combinations of the dice that it can come. A 1-1 can only come one way, 1 and 1. A 1-2, however, can come 1-2, or it can come 2-1. That's 2 different combinations of the dice. So, there's a 1 in 18 chance for a low side. There's a 1 in 36 chance for a high side. So you see 15 to 1 and 30 to 1. You see why we usually tell players that bet like that they're better off playing roulette if they only do hops, because you've got 36 combinations of the dice. On roulette, you've got 38 combos. Pays 30 to 1. Roulette, it pays 35 to 1. Sure, you're looking at the easy way going, but that's different. Not really, because you're betting 2 combinations of the dice. You're betting 2 of the 18 different combinations. Or 2 of the 36, 2 of the 36 different combinations. You do the same thing in roulette. If you wanted to do a $5 ace deuce, that's no different than doing a $5 split between the 3 and the 4 on roulette. Only this would pay you 15 to 1 or $75. Whereas if you bet that split on the 3-4 and the odds are almost identical, it's going to pay you 17 to 1 instead of 15 to 1. It's an extra $10. But hot bets. Now, some layouts will have the hot bets written down at the top. They're usually very small, so they'll hold 1 chip. So if you have multiple people betting the hops, oftentimes it starts looking like this, because you got to stack it up and do it in such a way that you can remember who's got what, right? Or you use some symbol on the chip, maybe the number or whatever, pointed to the player. Okay. If it comes over here, however, you can just do a split. You can bet it right there. You've got your different places. So high-low is right there, the highest and the lowest. Down here, you've got an 11-12. Okay. Now, there are keys for these. but I'm going to show you those in a later video because I'm going to show you how to create the keys because nobody uses the keys except for a couple of very, very basic ones, which I already showed you. With these, you do get improper bets, especially on the high-low or the 11-12 or even aces, ace-deuce or ace-deuce-yo. And the keys certainly help, but most dealers just memorize the improper bet, the lowest improper bet, and there we go. All right, so your hot bets, players can bet the hot bets. These right here are hot bets. And some common combinations are betting a high-low, right, $2 minimum, or 11-12, aces, ace-deuce, ace-deuce-yo. I caution you from booking that as an ET. Yes, 99% of people understand that ET means 11-12. You're also inviting a shot where they could say, no, I didn't mean the 2, or didn't mean the 12, I meant the 2. Or I meant the 3. They could say, I actually wanted an 11-3. Right? So it's best not to book slang ever. Be very, very clear with the bets. If someone says, I want an ET, I say, you have a $2 11-12. That's a bet. I book an 11-12. If they don't correct me, then, well, they have an 11-12. Three-way crap is another one. All three of these. Now, sure, you can set it up this way, just like you could set up a high-low like this. This, by the way, would be next to the base dealer over there. But for the high-low, we're more likely to do this. For a three-way crap, we're going to do that. All right, that is signifying that they are betting a three-way crap. Now, what if they bet a three-way crap with an 11, right? Which I could put either here or I could put it on the E. That is called a horn bet. That's called a horn bet. This is where we get into one more key that is expected to be known. It's not used all that often, but it's expected to be known. On the low side, and again, what is a low side? It's not a pair. So 1, 2, or 6, 5. So the 3, 3, 11 pays 4 times the bet. So 3 times the bet, I'm sorry. I said 4. 3 times the bet. So $4 you get paid $12. All right, well, let's look at this. 15 to 1 on either one of these. Doesn't matter. 15 to 1. But the other $3 lost. So we take that $3 out of that $15, they get $12, which just so happens to be 3 times the bet. Next, high side. High side is 7 times the bet minus 1/4 of the bet. Right? In this case, it would be minus $1. So a $4 horn bet, if aces roll, that would get paid $27. 7 times the bet minus 1/4 of the bet. Get an $8 horn, that would get paid $54. 7 times the bet for 56 minus 1/4 of the bet. $54. Okay. 7 times the bet minus 1/4. It's expected that you know that key. Not everybody uses that key. Most do, but not everybody does. And when it comes to paying it quickly, very rarely is that key used. But you do need to know it. So we've covered the horn bet, covered the three-way crap. Another one is a world bet. World bet would be a three-way crap plus an 11 plus an any 7. So let's look at it broken down. If a 7 were to roll, it pays 4 to 1, but you lost $4 here. So this bet would be a push. Typically, a world bet is set up in the corner up here if there is no spot for it on the layout. Some layouts will have a spot for it, some will not. You have to check where you are working on it, where they want you to set up a world bet. It's a minimum of $5. This is one that they expect you to book it proper. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Horn bets, we do take $5 horn bets. So 5, 10, 15, or proper 4, 8, 12, 16. Okay, either in proper units of 4 or in units of 5. Either one is common. High lows can be taken at pretty much any denomination. It drives me nuts when a casino will not book a $7 high-low, but will book a $5 high-low. So you'll book a $2 high-low, you'll book a $5 high-low, but they can't bet a $7 high-low? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That makes 0 sense to me. None whatsoever. So the high-lows, the aces, ace-deuce, ace-deuce-yos, stuff like that, they do tend to book improper bets. Okay? Give me 1 second. Sorry, folks. there's one last one that we are going to cover, and that is going to be, oh, I'm sorry, with that world bet. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I got to answer this badly timed text I'm getting here. Okay, so with the world bet, on the high side, we already know that a 7 is a push. Nothing happens, it just stays there. On the high side, 2 or 12, it gets paid $26. All right, there is a key, 5 times bet plus 1/5, but it gets paid $26. On the low side, it gets paid $11. Easiest way, you got a $5 one, figure it out. Put the dollar on it. You got a dollar on this, 30 to 1. It gets paid $30 minus the 4 that lost. You get paid $26. Quick and easy. Okay? Just break it down. So the next one, so like I said, we do take improper horn bets. The problem with an improper horn bet is that when it hits, the player is losing money. There's some change in there that the casino is keeping. For instance, this bet right here, a $5 horn bet on the high side pays $33.75. They get paid $33. We keep the 75 cents. So some players prefer to keep it proper. So instead, they will bet their $4 horn with an extra dollar on, let's say, the 11. Right? They've got a $4 horn with the extra dollar on the 11 for a $5 bet. That is called a horn high 11. It's a horn bet high on the 11. So if the 11 rolls, you got $2 on it. This pays 30 minus the 3 that lost, $27. 12 rolls, they get paid $30 minus the 4 that lost, 26. 2 rolls, same thing, 26. The 3 rolls, they're going to get paid their 15 minus the 4 that lost for $11. And they can do it with any bet. A horn high ace deuce means it's got the extra dollar on the ace deuce. Horn high aces, they have the extra dollar on the aces. Horn high 12, they have the extra dollar on the 12. Okay? There you guys go. Hot bets, the common combinations of them, three-way craps, horn bets, high-lows, world bets. There you go. By the way, a three-way, with the hot bets, if someone does, say, a two-way 5, right? Those are both low side, so it's paced the exact same as if they did an ace-deuce deal. Three-way crap would be the same as a three-way 6 or a three-way 8. It can come high side or it can come low side. It either comes 3-3 or it's a low side. Okay? Same payouts, and again, you just break it down in your head. If the high side rolls, you got a dollar on there. $30 minus the 2. Give them $28. Really, really easy. All right. So there you guys go. We've now covered all of the center action bets. If you guys have any questions, please email us. Otherwise, we have one final video. We're going to show you guys how to create the keys very quickly, because sometimes you have to do that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you next time. Bye now. All right, guys. So now we're going to talk about how you deal with improper bets and the keys. So we've already covered the keys for the C&E. We've covered the keys for the 7-11. We covered the key for the horn bet, 7 times minus a quarter on the high side and 3 times the bet on the low side. Now, the first thing I will say is that you always have to deal with the key in terms of the bet. And what I mean by that is you can't say it's 7 times the bet minus a dollar. You can't do that because it doesn't work if you say have an $8 horn bet. So it always has to be in terms of the bet. So 7 times the bet minus a quarter of the bet. 7 times the bet minus a quarter of the bet. Every aspect of your key, of your equation, must be in terms of the bet. Okay? Now, let's look at a high-low. So let's say somebody decides, and I used this as an example earlier, let's say someone decides they want to do a $7 high-low. Now, there is no low side on this. It's only high side. Right? If it was an 11-12, then the 11 is just, as you already know, 7 times the bet. So it would pay $49. Now, the high side, it's the same as on a high-low. Now, you get some weird bet. You don't know the key, right? Because I can pretty much instantly tell you what this pays, but You don't know the key. Think of the lowest proper bet. Lowest proper bet would be $2, right? $1 on each. Now what would it pay? It would pay $29, right? It pays 30 minus the losing one, or 30 minus the losing one. Or alternatively, since it's 31-4-1, oftentimes we will look at the entire bet. We'll say, well, if we take everything down, we'll give them 31 bucks. So 31 minus 2 is 29. But either way, it pays $29, right? So how do you turn $2 into 29? Well, I would multiply it by 15 and then subtract half the bet. So I would multiply the bet by 15. I would choose 15. Some people will say multiply the bet by 14 and add half the bet. But 15 is easier because you can blackjack it and add a 0. 30 minus half the bet. You get 29. So, knowing that the key is 15 times minus half the bet, or blackjack it minus half, I can look at this and go with 7. Blackjack is 1050, add a 0, we're at 105, minus half the bet, minus 350. Obviously the casino keeps the change, so I can just say minus 4, right? So it's 101. Right? So the key for this, blackjack the bet, add a 0, or multiply by 10, and subtract half the bet. I figured out by figuring out the lowest proper bet. So let's look at, let's say, a horn high aces and aces rolls. You have an $8 horn high aces. This is way improper. Most casinos aren't going to take this, but sometimes you book a bet, a late bet maybe, you don't have time to see what it is, you say that money plays, horn high aces, maybe it's a case bet, the last money they have, so you're going to let them play it, and then it hits, this has actually happened to me, then it hits, and you're like, well crap, now we got to figure this out. So you look at the lowest possible proper bet, which would be $5, right? $2 on the aces. What would this pay? Well, it would pay 62 minus 5, so it pays $57. How do I turn 5 into $57? There's a number of different ways, but easiest way, or not easiest, but the first one that pops up is 11 times the bet plus 2/5 of the bet. 11 times the bet plus 2/5 of the bet. So, what is 11 times 7? Or 11 times 8? 88. Now 2/5, you could just instantly say $2, because you know it's $1 and change. Right? So, well, actually, you would say $1 in this case, since it's a plus. It's $1 and change. You know the casino is keeping the change. So we're at 88 plus $1. 89. Pays $89, right? 89 and change. Now, there's an alternate key to this, but only on the high side. Like if only on the part where it's actually high. Because like, let's say 12 rolls. Well, 12 rolls, the lowest possible proper bet would pay 26. So that's 5 times the bet plus 1/5. So now we look at 5 times 8 plus $1 and change. $1.60 technically, right? So 5 times 8 is 40. So it pays $41.60. So it pays 41. We keep the change, right? But on the aces, on the horn high aces, and on the 12, on a horn high 12, another way of looking at it is it's 10 times the bet plus whatever the bet would pay as a place bet on the 5. So 10 times, if you have a $5 one, 10 times 5 is 50. $5 as a place bet on the 5 pays $7. So 50 plus 7, $57. What did we say this pays? 62 minus 5, $57. And that is how you figure out the key on any given bet. I will tell you, there are 3 keys to all the horn highs. Right? Horn high 11, if an ace deuce rolls, it's 2 times the bet plus 1/5. If an 11 rolls, it's 5 times the bet plus 2/5. If a 2 or 12 rolls, it's 5 times the bet plus 1/5. Horn high ace deuce rolls, 5 times the bet plus 2/5. 11 rolls, 2 times the bet plus 1/5. Either one of the high sides roll, 2 or 12, 5 times the bet plus 1/6. We're looking at the ace deuce, or the aces and the 12, horn high aces, horn high 12. Either one of the low sides roll, 3 or 11, 2 times the bet plus a 5th, 2 times the bet plus a 5th. If the 12 rolls, 5 times the bet plus 1/6, or 1/5. If the aces roll, 5 times the bet plus 1/5. If the aces roll, 10 times the bet plus what this would pay as a place bet on 5, or 11 times the bet plus 2/5. 12 rolls, 10 times the bet, plus whatever this would pay as a place bet on 5, or 11 times the bet plus 2/5. Right over here, pretty easy. 5 times the bet plus 1/5 on high side, 2 times the bet plus 1/5 on low side, push on the 7. High low, high side, blackjack the bet, add a 0, subtract half the bet. So 750, add a 0, 75, minus 250, it gets 72.50. Give him 72 bucks. Same thing, high side, low side, 7 times the bet. Okay. The keys are very, 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 very easy. Now, some people will look at, don't look at position for these guys because I'm not putting them in any kind of spot. Okay, we're dealing with horn bets right here. Some people believe that the easiest way, and they're not necessarily wrong about this, just depends on your brain, the easiest way to pay horn bets is to simply memorize what all of these would pay. A $2 horn bet would pay $13.50. $3 would pay $20.25. And we're talking high side, because again, low side is just 3 times the bet, so it doesn't matter, just 3 times the bet. So $4 one pays $27, $5 one pays $33.75, $6 one pays $40.50, $8 one pays $54 even, $10 one pays $67.50, the $12 one pays $81 even. Okay, now 3 of these are proper, the 12, the 8, and the 4. Now, some people will memorize those 8 payouts because that is all they need. You do not need any other ones. And then they can use these to figure out any horn bet. $224 horn bet. $224 horn bet. Now, again, low side, super easy. You just multiply it by 3. That's it. Right? Just multiply it by 3. So you're looking at $672 on the low side. That's simple. But what about the high side? Well, the high side, you can calculate it out with various keys if you chose to do so. Or you can use what you memorized down here. Okay? You know that a $2 one pays $13.50. Therefore, $200 pays $1,352. You know, the 12 pays 81. You have 2 12s, right? That's 162. So 1350 plus 162. And you can just have the dealers cut those out separately. You don't necessarily have to add them up to 1512. Right? You could just say, cut out 1350, cut out 162, and you're done. Or you can add them up to 1512. Whatever works for you. But some people will just memorize these 8, and they will use this to figure out any variation of that. Let's see if I can come up with an interesting one. Let's go with $360. Okay? $360. Well, you can look at your 12, right? 36 is just 3 of these. 3 of these, each one of these pays $81, right? So 3 of them pays $243. $243, add a 0. $2,430. Quick and easy, right? Let's see, let's see if I can come up with an even more annoying one. Let me think. Here we go. $154. $154. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you could do this. Actually, no, that's not going to be proper. I'm sorry. 152. That's what I was shooting for. $152. All right. Now, there's a lot of different ways you could do this. A whole bunch of different ways you could do this. But for some people that are using this part right here, it's pretty easy. Again, you know what 12 pays, 81. That means that you know what 120 pays, 810. 120 pays 810, right? Then you're down to $32, which is 4 of these right here, right? That's 220 bucks. 220 bucks, 810 plus 220, $1,030. Quick and easy. Right? So this is a viable method right here. Just memorize 8 of the horn bets. So I hope you guys find this interesting, illuminating, enlightening, at least just plain fun. If nothing else, we've now completed the entire dice course. Obviously, I did show you guys how to use the stick, manipulate the stick, move the dice, stuff like that. That's one of those things that you just have to do over and over and over and over and over again in live games, which is why you cannot just use YouTube videos to learn dice. You actually have to deal it. That's why we tell you to go to a dealing school. Thank you everybody for watching, and stay tuned. We're going to stitch all these together into each phase as well, and those will be longer videos, of course. Otherwise, thank you again for watching. We will catch you next time, everybody. Bye now.